The lady does not wish to talk to you.
Oh, the lady don't know what to talk to me? Huh?
You will leave now.
No.
What's up, handsome?
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Thanks for taking some time and working this out.
My pleasure, dude.
What do you got going? You got? Are we doing a school photo in the background there?
No, this is where I film all of my auditions. It's like a blue backdrop. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
my little green screen there.
I
So
saw the green screen. It's actually, yeah, it's nice looking. I think we should do some lasers and make it like a school,
little falcon flying down.
Yeah, man. We'll get some cats and some lasers and yeah, it's great to have you on, dude. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure, man.
Well, you know what, man? I have to say something about your character before we even really dive in and start, man. It's just such a class act and it's so refreshing. I reach out to a lot of people. I hope you've checked out Moneyball and saw some of the episodes, predominantly sports, but I do a ton of baseball, everybody. It's a mixed bag. I'm out of Buffalo, so a lot of different stuff. The only other act I've had on is Dwyer Brown from Field of Dreams.
Okay.
The guy, can we have a catch at the end?
Yeah.
And it was really special because of that movie, and he was a lot like you in the fact of just salt of the earth, humble, you know what I mean? And I saw a couple of your things is God and all that, man. And I love it. And I love your vibe. And I love, and this is, all joking aside, you're going to go far. I told my wife before we started, I said, this dude, I said, there's just something about him. I'm telling you, I said, I really want to have him on. I said, I have a gut and I get these intuitions. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, I'm telling you, he's going to be huge in like a few years. So
Hey, man.
you heard it here first, brother.
Yeah. Gosh, well, just going through this process, there's a lot of noise, you know what I mean? And there's like none of this stuff is real. You know what I mean? It's like you're playing a game. So when I go home at the end of the day, I'm married, I have a wife, that's what's
Congrats,
real.
I saw, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like my faith, it just helps to keep me grounded because I'm not to be honest with you, I don't really, like acting is what I do.
Right.
It's not who I am. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Right.
with anything, it's really just a platform for me to spread the good news. That's all it is. I just take the gifts that I've been given and I just use it to try and help others. That's all.
It's amazing. It's a unique, refreshing, amazing. Don't ever lose it, is what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
And you will impact a lot of lives. I promise you that. I'm getting too serious here. We're both going to start crying, and one of us is going to have to charge the other one for therapy. And
I gotta say, man, my audition today, man.
Bro, I saw you got married in Italy, man. Congrats, beautiful wife. Things are good in your life, huh?
It's been a wild year, dude. So yeah, we got married in Italy. She planned the whole thing, and my wife's a hustler, dude. She she does hair extensions, she works in a salon, but she was wheeling and dealing with those Italian people over there, just working it out, got us the best deal. There was a discrepancy at the Grand Hotel Tremezzo. They installed a deck in the backyard where we were supposed to get married on grass. So Danielle had a bit of an issue with it.
She wasn't having it.
They so graciously gave us the suite for the week, which was awesome. Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, if you find a hair in your food, that meal is free.
Yeah. Right?
Oh man, I saw some pictures and you both looked great, man. And congratulations. That's amazing. There's a lot going on for you. I don't like to ask the same old questions, with every interview. I like to kind of treat it, like we met at a bar and we're just a couple of dudes getting to know each other. But I kind of have to mention some of the big, things that are going on right now. The Hernandez story, I think, I wouldn't say put you on the map because you were already on I think it put you more in the map of otherwise a demographic that may otherwise not have seen you, right? And what I mean by that, right, is obviously the sports fanatics, because that's who's watching that show. And man, it was great. I met Gronk on Tuesday. I know you guys have a relationship, man. And I brought up the 69 Club thing and he was like, I'll send it to you. He's like, Laith isn't in the 69 Club, man. He was like, and people stopped because there was like Channel 2 and Channel 7, right? And then there's me and a couple of, and Trainwreck Sports or something. And he stopped. Everybody stopped because they had no idea what we were talking about. So we're just going and I give him a Moneyball hat and we're just, we're chilling for a minute. And he's like, I'll tell you what, though, his brother was a wrestler and his wrestling name was that thing I sent you. What was it?
Mojo Raleigh.
Mojo Raleigh, right? And we're talking, and everybody's like, "What are they talking about, man?" It was fantastic. It's like,
What is this lingo? I don't
yeah,
understand.
yeah. So was Mojo Raleigh just like the wrestler name that he gave himself?
No, the WWE gave him that name.
He was legit Mojo Raleigh.
Yeah.
I thought this was like you guys were kids. I don't know. I don't follow WWE. I swear to God. I thought
No,
you were
it's-
like I'm Mojo Raleigh, and you're ultimate whatever.
No, they gave him that name when he was wrestling with the WWE. His real
Okay.
name is Dean Mutati. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now he just goes by Mojo. It's like a a nickname kind of
Is
thing.
he still doing it?
I mean, he hasn't wrestled. Basically, he left the WWE and he went on to start his own talent management company for
Okay.
wrestlers because basically the WWE just has like a monopoly on their people. Like they don't want to let you get any other brand deals outside of the company. So
Yeah.
he was kind of the first one to establish that agency, and now he has clients like Alexa Bliss. Gosh, I can't remember. Mercedes. She was a wrestler. She was in that new Star Wars show.
I know who you're talking about, and it gave them representation. They didn't feel backed into a corner, right? Like they have options.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because like these people have millions of followers. You want to be able to monetize it outside of your
right.
day job. Just
And they
like-
should be able to, yeah, right?
Yeah. So he was kind of like the pioneer in that field. So he's doing really great. And now he doesn't have to beat his body to crap, you know what I mean? So it works out for the best.
Part of what you guys do, man. And listen, I saw your stats at Delaware, man. You were a warrior. You had some good numbers. I think you still hold a couple records over there, I think, right?
Couple I have an NCAA record, a school record. I was a field goal blocking machine, baby.
I saw like how do you become a specialist at that, right? Like I'm just gonna sacrifice my body and take him to the dome or what?
You know what it was? I had a teammate of mine. His name was Zach. He went on to play, I think 6 or 7 years in the NFL. Huge guy. He was like 6'2",
Okay.
320 pounds, maybe 330, and he
Okay.
could run like a 4.8, just an animal.
Was he a
So
Zach?
basically, on the field goals, he would take the offensive guard, physically move him out of the way, and I would just go slip right in and get that arm up, and it was game time every
Oh
time.
my
man.
God, dude.
Yeah,
Was
we
he a
had a-
tackle? What position was he?
He was a nose tackle.
Okay, yeah. The old
Mhm.
school nose tackle, the old
He was
Fred Smirlis.
Yeah, because originally at Delaware, I was playing defensive tackle, and then he came in, it transferred in, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But then we got the bright idea to move me out to defensive end, so he got all the double teams, and I was home free doing my thing. So it worked out.
You were kind of like the edge guy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before edge was cool, right? Like I always say to people, like every year there's another kind of like a slang in football, right? So edge has been for a few years, but there was Swiss Army knife, and then there was pin the ears back. Remember that for a year?
Yeah.
You can picture Nance saying it like he pinned his ears back, and there's always like a cool catchphrase that Romo or tries to get in there or whatever, man. But it's whatever's trendy, I guess. But yeah, the Blue Hens, which the most intimidating name in football, I think.
You know what? We are the most progressive team in college athletics. Female mascot in the whole NCAA. We got it, baby.
Dude, I had one of Jim Kelly's nephews was a linebacker. Is it Vermont? What's one of those teams up there, and they have a dog? It's like the Dalmate. It's they're green.
Dartmouth? That team?
No, it's Vermont or one of those. But I can picture it in my head. He was a linebacker, aspirations of becoming pro. He was going to sign as a free agent. Real good kid. But the team name, here's where I'm going with it. The team name was like the Blue Hens, right? It was like not very fierce. It was
Yeah.
Dalmatians or something. You know what I mean? Like you got to come in with. The Blue Hen's got to have like fangs hanging out, or it's got to have rabies or something.
So basically, the origin story was because Delaware was founded in like early 1700s or something like that. Basically, during the Civil War, these soldiers would have cockfights, and the Blue Hen was like the baddest one of them all, and would just run the show. Yeah,
Really?
So, yeah, that's where the name came from.
Dude, that's phenomenal. I'm not even joking. I never knew that. I'm a Civil War nerd. Like I didn't know that at all. But now that's see, I can put it up here in the bank. And where did Delaware get its name? Cockfights.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Laith. Obviously, like I had started to go into a little bit as far as the year goes with you, and you've been grinding for a little while. 2018, right? 2017, 2018, is that when you started your new career? Okay.
Yeah, I was doing I started in Orlando. I was doing like student films at Full Sail, which ironically I live right across the street from here still.
I was going to ask
And
you. Yeah.
yeah, and basically one of the student films I did, the director was like, "Hey, there's this school coming into town having auditions, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. Why don't you check it out?" So I just showed up. They have a free acting class, and I ended up auditioning. They told me just prepare a monologue, dramatic and comedic. And at the time, I didn't even know what a monologue was. I was so like green,
That
man.
fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just spent that whole weekend kind of just trying to memorize the lines. Went in there. I guess I did a good enough job, and I got into school. I was broke. I remember I'm a part of this like National Football Foundation. It's for a bunch of football players who actually played and also get decent grades. And every year we go out to Stanford and they have like a whole banquet and everything. So I met all these like big cats who were big time. And I literally emailed probably 100 people like, "Hey, I'm an up and coming actor, you know, maybe you guys are interested in like sponsoring me to go to school."
Are you serious? That's
Like,
amazing.
emailed probably 100 people, got no response. One guy was like, "Yeah, best I could do is give you a loan, you know, with like 15% interest or something like that." And I was like, "All right, thanks, man." So I literally, I don't know, I scrounged up the money and I spent half of my life savings, actually probably 3/4 of my life savings to go to the summer program at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for a
Okay.
summer. Yeah, that's how it all started, dude. It was wild.
So you spend that money, you get in because they said you did have to get in, right? And then it was coming up with the money to get in there.
Yeah.
How long was that? Like how long was the school or I guess maybe how tedious? Like give me a little insight of that.
So this school is extremely renowned. Like Adrian Brody, Jessica Chastain, Paul Rudd, Danny DeVito,
Wow.
Robert Redford. Like you go in there and they got all these pictures of these people, you know.
Intimidating. A little intimidating, right?
So I was like, all right, great. Like I can learn. You know, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just like a football dude who basically I got into it doing voices, you know, because I've
Yeah.
always been good at impressions and stuff like that. I was a voice actor and the acting was just, you know, secondary. But I went down the acting road because I figured, well, at the very least, it'll make me a better voice actor, you know.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I went there.
And show you some of the game, right? Like kind of, you know what I mean? Like also, yeah, how things work and how that world is. Yeah.
So I went there and basically I'm used to athletic scenarios, you know what I mean? Like where like coaches are cussing me out and
Sure.
you know getting in my shit and like
Sure.
making me work. And when I got there, it was a lot of like trust fund babies
Yeah.
who their parents, you know,
Oh yeah.
paid for them to vacation in LA and like explore something. And I was like, I'm broke as shit. I got no money. Like it's do or die. Let's go. So I
Yeah.
was like all about business, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the teachers there were like, you know, Laith, that was so good. Let's take a look next week and yeah, we'll just keep playing with it. That was a great job though. I'm like, what do you mean that was a great job? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then I ran into this one coach who coached me like an athlete.
Okay.
And the first time I got up there and I did a monologue, he was like, that was freaking terrible.
Really.
You know? And I was like, awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
give me
That's
something
what
to
you
work
needed to hear, right?
yeah, give me something to do. So his name was Clay Banks, and you know, he had everything I wanted. Basically, he was older. I want to say he was in his 50s.
Okay.
He had led a TV series. He had made like millions of dollars in commercials. So I was like, okay, the way I learn is from people who are doing it or have done it. So I'm just going to follow everything this guy tells me. I started training with him. I was in class 2 nights a week, 4 to 5 hours of class, like just grinding it out, man.
Just became a
And
sponge, right? A sponge of everything he had.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I had to learn from the ground up everything with acting. So it was a long road, but it was so good. It gave me the foundation I needed. And I we're still friends to this day. I mean, he was like a father figure to me out there because you know what they don't tell you is that when you move to LA, your family ain't moving to LA with you.
Right.
Like you're on your own and your friends essentially become your family. So my best friends that I met in drama school, they kind of became my core. And then at CBSI, that was the acting studio with Clay Banks, we had a good community of actors who were all very supportive, and that was my community.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was awesome, man.
So how long are you out there where then you get to a point? Is it a graduation? Is that how it works?
So basically, they have a 3-year program. I was 26 when I got into school, and I'd already done football, tried arena football, did this. I'm still broke, you know what I mean? And I'm 26 years old. You do the 3-year program, you can't work while you do that. And I'm just like, gosh, if I do that whole program,
Wait, hold up. At all?
Yeah, they don't let you work.
Okay, so talk about trust fund babies, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's crazy, but go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get out at what, the age of 29, and I'm still not gonna be like, I'm gonna be starting fresh. You know what I mean? I did the summer session, which was 2 months. We did it. I learned everything. I got plugged into a great coach, and it also afforded me an opportunity to get the lay of the land out there in Los Angeles. So I was out there 2 months. I got plugged into the football community. And that's how I started in Los Angeles, doing stunts in TV shows and films and things like in commercials. And I was blessed, man. I never had to wait tables or get a side gig. I made all of my money in the craft, whether it was commercials, acting roles, or working on the radio or doing voiceover. I had all these different streams of income within the craft, so I never had to have a day job. A lot of people move to LA and they need a survival job.
Sure.
Then eventually, as time goes on, that survival job eats into what they originally came from. They start turning down auditions because they got to go to work, all these things. So it worked out for me, man. It was great.
Or,
I did the summer session there in 2018, met my best friend. His house was flooded. His insurance put him up in a hotel. We shared a hotel room for like a month or two. And then went back to Florida, grabbed my stuff, and then I moved out there full time March of 2019.
Okay. And now home is Florida again?
Yeah. So basically, I met my fiance during the pandemic 2020 and went back to LA.
Wait. How'd y'all meet? Because this was another one of my wife's questions. So how'd y'all meet?
She was my Tinderoni, baby.
Yeah?
Tinder.
I love it, dude. Are you allowed to tell that story? Is she gonna is that her?
Yeah. We tell everybody that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't want you getting slapped or anything for coming, telling me the story.
No, it's okay. We're still we're holding out for that national commercial with Tinder.
Dude, listen, you're just cool. You know what I mean? It's just it's the ability to recognize the comedic in it, the comedy in it, and just be like, that's how we met, right? You can make something up, but that's how you met.
I mean, I got lucky. I call her my little Tinder gem. I mean, it was 1 in a million. She was just getting out of a relationship. Her friends convinced her to do it. She got on it for like 1 week, happened to meet me, like blew off another guy for our first date. And then I locked her ass down, man.
I wish she could come on, man. Is she shy or what? Because I want to ask her what your profile was on Tinder. Is she too shy?
She is on her way to get a spray tan.
Fair enough. Because I would love to know what your profile was. Like, does he go with big blue hen or something, or like what's?
I have screenshots of hers, but I don't know if she has mine.
Oh my God. Well, it is 1 in a million because listen, she is beautiful, and I'm very happy for you guys, man. Because that's not something you usually hear. That's cool.
Yeah, especially off of Tinder.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I feel like sky's the limit for you. I feel like, the first thing when you meet, you got to be likable, and people, they either are or they're not. And I think that, I guess, yeah, certain people can grow on you and things like that, but especially in your industry, you have to be likable. So I think the fact that you went in there so raw and have been as successful as you have, and you're just getting started, brother. So like, obviously people are buying into that. And I don't mean that there's anything fake about it. I mean, buying into who you are. And like I said, there's something refreshing about you. It's just, I'm not sitting here trying to, kiss your ass or anything. You're there's something refreshing about you. Right. And I think people can maybe see that, right? You're transparent in the fact that, hey man, this is who you get. This is what you see is what you get. And this is what I have to offer. If you like it, great, let's rock. And if you don't, man, peace. I'll fly to the next coop, like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we're in the day and age where people are smart, man. They can sniff out bullshit, you know what I mean? And you just got to keep it real, really see things for what they are. Like I don't take myself seriously. You got to be able to make fun of yourself and have a good time because
I think that's so important. That's
like, let's be real, we're not up here curing cancer, you know what I mean? Like we're having fun.
Having fun and blessed to be able to do so,
I get to have fun for a job, like I love what I do. It allows me to create and play and mess up and look like an idiot. Gosh, there are so many times where I just look like a complete idiot, you know what I mean? And you gotta be okay with it,
You mean episode, what is it? No.
Yeah.
Aaron Ernest. Dude, listen, when I saw that, and I actually told myself, I said, don't even bring that up because he's got to be sick of talking about it. But the only thing I'll say about it is, he's a Buffalo guy, right? So we know he's got G&G Sports here and stuff, and in the family, and the laugh is so recognizable, right?
Yeah.
And it's if the dude wasn't playing football, he could probably be famous for that laugh. And you nailed it, right? Because I don't think you look like him that much. I guess I can see it, but it's
I'm more of like a Tim Tebow kind of guy.
Yeah, totally. That's more your look, but you played his role, Gronk, I'm saying perfectly, right? And you told me, I know you guys used to chop it up and have fun, and that's something that, those are off the air type stories, I'm sure there.
Many of them. Yeah.
Where did Laith come from? I gotta ask. It's lion in Arabic, I read.
Yeah, so my mom, my grandfather, he was an ambassador in Syria, and apparently he actually started the tax system over there.
Really?
So my mom, she wanted to name me something different that, wasn't, like a John or whatever. So she went with Laith. I have no idea where she got that name from, but I've always liked it. In the beginning of my career, there were always talks like, hey man, are you going to go by like a stage name or something like that? Because your last name is frickin'.
Well, Laith sounds like a stage name, to be honest. But the last name, I guess you could change it to Laith Cruz or something, right?
I was like, you know what, man? I'm me. Yeah, my name is a representation of who I am, my family, everything we've done. Look at Schwarzenegger. I'm pretty close to that, right? So,
And honestly, it's a great story too.
Yeah.
The ambassador story all the way down. It's very unique. Donovan, I used to hate it when I was a kid. It was just because when you're a kid, you want to be like everybody else. As you get older, you don't want to be like anybody else. It's just funny how that, real quick, my son, he had a concussion a couple days ago in a hockey game. He got hit pretty hard.
Nice.
Well, he wants to go out and rollerblade, and he's been off for a couple days. And I said, D, his name is Deacon. And I said, D, no problem. Just throw a helmet on.
Yeah.
He goes, what? I said, just put a helmet on. You can go rollerblade, kid. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, he refuses to do it. He's worried about what the kids in the neighborhood are going to look with, how he's going to look with the helmet on playing. And I'm like I preach in my household, lions, not sheep, right? Like I'm trying so hard to make these little lions, right? No pun intended with Laith, but like these little Laiths. I'm trying to make these little Laiths.
Yeah.
And he won't put a helmet on. I'm like, dude, like, what is wrong with you? It's just how kids think.
Dude, I remember I was speaking to a 6th grade class in my middle school a few months back, and I was just like, these kids were asking me like, hey, if you had to give yourself any advice when you were our age, what would you say? And I remember being so consumed with what other people thought of me and like trying to fit in and be cool. And it's like, guys, you don't even understand. This is your world right now, but you're not even gonna like know 99% of these people in 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be you, man. And
I think it's so easy to see and say when you're older. Like, but in that moment, like you could be saying them and listen, like you're a professional actor telling these kids, right? And you think like, oh man, like athletes, whoever it is, trying to tell these kids, but they can't get past it. They can't.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
So I gotta have, I'll let you get going here. I know you're a busy guy and you got things going on. I know your project coming up. Are you going for the record? You're going to play every tight end in the league? You going for LG Crumpler next, or what's up?
I just gotta get it, man. I was telling God, I was on some show. I was like, yeah, my wife does hair extensions. I'm gonna get it grown out so I can do the George Kittle biopic next. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? I see Bowers in your future, right?
Yeah, right.
But no, man, like everything leads to something better. And it's just, these are all, each little thing in your life, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was funny when you said good luck, getting through that movie, which I will, be watching it, which adds to it though. Now that you're on,
Yeah.
it's cool. But what is the goal for you? Like, what is your, I guess, I don't know. We won't put a time set on it, but what's a 5-year plan for you? You just want to keep grinding, keep banging away and see where it takes you?
Basically, I have a deep desire in my heart. What I want to do is I want to create gritty Christian content that is absorbed by the masses. You know what I mean? So you take a look at a lot of the Christian content out there, like say, take a married couple in a Christian movie. You can't even tell that they're married, that they have any intimacy. It's very
Right.
cookie cutter. You know
Right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And you take a look at some studios like Angel Studios who are getting a little bit, Sound of Freedom, where you can show those tougher situations and kind of, it's not gratuitous. Like you look at the child sex trafficking,
Right.
they could paint the picture without showing the picture. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
like if you've ever seen that movie, it will put a feeling in your stomach
I
that,
did.
yeah, it that
Well,
just,
having 3 kids, right? You don't have kids yet. I don't
not
know,
yet.
if they're on your things to do list or not. I call it things to do list, right? Have kids. Um, but I have 3 little boys, and it was tough to watch that, man. I have a 4-year-old now, and just like to sit through that and watch it was incredible. But I did interrupt you. I apologize.
No, so I was just saying I would love to create content like that because, I've had a crazy walk in my faith, and I've seen things that people haven't seen. And, there's people with stories coming from gangs, coming from heroin addiction, all this stuff, and they get their life totally turned around. And you have to be able to tell those stories authentically without shaming or without you gotta play by these rules, because how else are you going to reach that person who's in a similar state, right? So, I just have a deep desire of that. And I don't know if you've ever been in like a worship session at church where like the Holy Spirit is just heavy. It is it is incredible. I would love to be able to portray that in a film and have the
Yeah.
audience kind of be in there. You kind of got a glimpse of it in the movie When a Star is Born, like with Lady Gaga and
Yeah.
Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper, how
Yeah.
they really just put you in that concert setting. I want to be able to do that in a worship setting. I
Okay.
think if people could get a glimpse of that, man. I
I'll
don't know.
tell you what, I can see your passion, like
Yeah.
it's kind of something, you can talk all day, accolades and things like that. And then obviously when that comes up with you, it's definitely something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll do it, just to speak candidly with you, man. Like you'll get it done. You're just
Yeah.
one of those dudes. You're just one of those dudes. I feel like when you get started, you're unstoppable, man. And I like to think of myself as that same type of person. Like try and slow me down, right? I mean, the only things that can are health or a serious something or money, right? Money's always a factor, man. We all have to deal with it, and it's annoying because if there's good people out there that would take their money and put it to good use and not bad, sometimes it needs to come to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting it done, you just got to get a little more resourceful.
You had a killer quote, man. I'll let you get going, but there's 2 more things I'm going to ask of you. The
Yeah.
first, you had a killer.
I mean, shoot. I always say if your dreams don't scare you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. So, I've
Love that quote.
Quote. It was phenomenal because I was driving and I had it on and I listened to it and I stopped a minute and I rewound it and I listened to it again. And some things just hit me differently, and it was really profound. I don't know if it was yours. I think you said it was a coach's or something, but it was intense. It was good.
I was watching a video with Matt Damon. He had just won the Oscar for Good Will Hunting. At night finishes up. He goes back to his place. His girlfriend's asleep. It's just him sitting there on the couch staring at this trophy. And he expresses how he was just so grateful to win it so that he didn't spend his entire life chasing after
Wow.
this title. It didn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's incredible if you deeply think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your favorite voice to do? What's you know what? Is your wife still there?
No, she left.
Okay, I was going to ask her what your favorite voice it is you do, because, sometimes people are a little too humble, but what's the best voice you do?
I
You do a ton of them. It looks like you do a ton of them.
you remember that comedian Pablo Francisco by chance back in the day?
No.
I grew up with him, watching him. I was a huge fan, and he would do the movie trailer guy voice. And
Okay.
basically that's where I got all my voices from. I would
Okay.
just
Really?
imitate these people on TV. So yeah, doing that voice, like,
Are you ready? This summer, one man, one solution. Jean-Claude Van Damme is back.
It's so sweet, dude. It's so sweet because you do it so effortlessly. Ready?
yeah.
In a world where there's one man and one girl, and they find each other on Tinder. It is the Laith story.
Coming this fall.
Coming. Man, it came as advertised, dude. You're a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on, man. And, taking time in your day. Like I said, I know you get jammed up doing stuff. And
Oh, it's all good, dude. This is great.
yeah, thank you. I mean it. Thanks for coming on. We'll keep in touch, and best of luck with everything you're doing, man.
Awesome. I'll need it.
Take care, brother. I'll see you later.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.